Hello and welcome. Today we are going to talk about the expansion and development, the facts and benefits of expanding into Canada. A company expansion is a terrifying thing to some companies. Not knowing what would take place, the people we would encounter, the way the laws work are just a few challenges a company could face each time they want to expand. Making sure the company is going to prosper is vital when making these decisions. The research has been done. Now it is time to move forward. Now, which country would be best to settle into? Canada being a developed country, Peru being a developing country, Egypt being an emerging country. A good choice of a location makes a sound company decision. Canada, Peru, and Egypt were the top three choices for this company to see if it would be profitable to move into. Each have their own challenges, but it seems that they all could be done. It would take some doing for Peru and Egypt since they are farther away as well as not developed quite yet. Canada seems to be the most fitting with what we are trying to accomplish as they are bordered with the United States and will be the easiest to have help when reaching our goals. Deciding on a province is going to be the main focus to start as there are different options for each province. The beginning of international expansion. What would the revenue look like if the company opened its doors in a bigger province? Location. An area that is scenic and maybe have water around. Employees. Both current and future employees having incentives would boost morale. Current conditions. Seeing what the current conditions are for the ocean views. Many developing markets are in need of certain products due to lack of supply. This is where a globally aware business can capitalize on the opportunity to satisfy the market demand by exporting their products or beginning operations in the market, according to Evans Pensini. Canada is developing and always looking for ways to bring in revenue. The country does have different ideas to bring in companies that will make the country grow more, depending on which part of the country is decided upon to be best for the office. There are more opportunities in both this country and the people of this country. Canada does have some issues with the shortage of people to work. It would be easier to relocate some of our employees if they are willing. The country is beautiful, and with the right incentives, some of our current employees might be more than willing to go open an office or to relocate to the new office as well, adding the people that would live there currently, and it will bring up even more revenue for the company and country. Doing business in Canada. Customs. The customs are similar to ours. Language barriers. What language is spoken in Canada? Cultures. Finding the right culture base to do business and let people know we are similar. Canada and the United States have many things in common. The customs we have are a great deal like theirs. The language is the same, so the employees do not have to learn a new language as well as the setup of their towns or cities. Some of them believe in the same things we do, such as religion or nature. Trompinaires recommends that when people from cultures with high individualism deal with those of communalistic cultures, they should have patience for the time taken to consent and to consult, and they should aim to build lasting relationships. From Fred Lutherans and Jonathan Dahl. it would not be hard to have our current employees set up the office to attract new employees and to help the economy in Canada while we are doing it. This place has so much potential. What needs to be considered when entering an international country as a business? Communications. Even the same language could have different meaning. Negotiations. How hard is it going to be when trying to start the office while learning the current laws? Strategy formation. Having a set goal in mind helps when setting a plan into action. While Canada does have the same language we do, it still could have some communication barriers in terms of what is needed by law to put the office there. Finding out what is needed in the province this company chooses is the key to staying within guidelines. Canada is going to have different laws than the United States does, and while so many things are the same, some of these laws could prove challenging. Negotiations would have to take place if it is decided the office would be put here, and it would also have to be known to our employees that Canada will take lead with what the laws are. Negotiations are helpful and would help when putting the office handbook together. A strategy would be put in place as to what is allowed, what is not, what is going according to the main office, and what is the best options for the company as well as the company. Leaving little to chance is going to help greatly. Managerial decision and global environment. Trading, paperwork, appropriate timing, appropriate language, accuracy. The trade regulations in Canada are already in place with the United States. Canada has some certain rules as to what is not allowed under any circumstances, and no exceptions will be made. Using a SWOT analysis would be a good way to come up with a plan and to see what things would look like, plus what the legal and ethical challenges could be. One key point is the paperwork and making sure it is all in place, completed appropriately and accurately, and in a very timely manner, so there are very little issues which could delay and prolong the process. The most important document required from a U.S. exporter is a properly completed Canada Customs invoice or its equivalent, which is required for all commercial shipments imported into Canada. The exporter can use its own form if it has the required information on it according to the Global Trade site. Leadership across cultures. What is expected in Canada? What the timeline is for different leaders, how the company will handle human resources, the best option for the handbook in Canada, how to relate to employees. Canadian employers are required to give employees at least statutory notice of termination or pay in lieu, and may be required to give lengthier notice or pay in lieu as provided under the common law or contract. In the United States, employment is generally at will, and notice of termination by the employer is required only by contract or company policy, according to Christina Medlin and Joseph Fisneras. Canada is different in this aspect as the company needs to make sure the laws are followed according to Canada. Since the office would be in Canada, a human resource person could be placed in that office with the understanding this person reports to the main office human resource department. Having a guidebook set up with all of this information very detailed in it would help. The employees in Canada will be treated the same way as the main office treats employees with incentives and such, so they do not feel like they have to compete. Incentives and leadership. The life plans. Happy employees means better quality, of work. In management teams, talking to employees and listening to ideas. Management working together with employees. The managers and the employees are what makes a company along with the customers. Good incentives could be gift cards to certain places, bonus programs, vacation days, extra paid time off, and more. Many different items could be used for motivators in a developed country which has more options open to them. This is where the management of that office comes in. This office would have management leadership in the office, which is based around the ideas of the team-based leadership. This way, the employees feel like they have a say in what is taking place and their ideas are brought to the main office for discussion. The employees will feel empowered to a point, and this makes work easier for some. So, in conclusion, Canada would be a great place to build an office. There is so much potential. The work would be hard, and some things might take time to get used to, but it would all be worth it to the company in the long run. This is a great opportunity to go international, and someday, maybe more international stores could be open. I am excited to share this information with you and cannot wait to get started upon your approval. Thank you for your time and consideration.